All right, everybody, we're on like the home stretch now. No, I know I said that we're basically on the home stretch last week, but ignore that. Anyway, so as you saw on the assignments, you only have 2 this week. That is pretty much because of the fact that you have EOGs and stuff like that. So feel free to only do these on the days. Well, actually, you're only doing these on the days where you guys don't have EOGs. So basically, this is pretty much the last bit of review that we're going to go over before next week. Now, next week, you will have a test. It's not going to be any like particularly more difficult than your normal tests. In fact, it will pretty much only be on these first 5 or 6 chapters, probably only 5 chapters. I probably am not going to be mean enough to include something from chapter 6 when I didn't give you guys like these review questions or things of that nature. Now, all the same, and there will be a study guide. That's the other key part. There will be a study guide, and it will be much more thorough than the normal study guides I give, just because, I'd like you guys to do well in this test. The test will be primarily upon like things like endings and declensions and stuff like that. So there will be a little bit of information you'll need to know from chapters, say 7 and 8. So like with the dative case and the pronoun case, pronoun forms and stuff like that. But overall, I don't think that any of it should be particularly difficult. It shouldn't be a difficult final exam, but it will still be a test. Now, to get to the matter at hand, you saw that I said choose 5 exercitia. So there are upwards of between like 10 and 14 exercitia per chapter throughout that book that I've been making copies for you guys for assignments for the past couple of weeks. So basically, if you would like, you can choose the 5 that you think are going to be easiest to you. I think I gave a pretty good general overview of how to do almost all of them last week. So the same sort of concepts should apply. The only thing I want to say is that looking at what's called the Grammatica Latina for each chapter, so let's say you're doing one for chapter 4, what might be a good idea is to go to the Grammatica Latina, or even just reread through the chapter like I tell you to do in the assignment. Both of those would be very, very helpful. Who knows, maybe getting out the old copies of your various Pensa exercises, because I believe chapter 4 like way long ago. So if you haven't thrown that out yet, then I don't know, maybe that would be a good thing to go through. Anyway, so the main way that these worked, I don't know if I have clarified this recently for you guys, but the main way that the Grammatica Latina works is so they'll have the grammatical concepts spelled out in italics, and then they'll have the ending that you need to be paying attention to in italics as examples. So medus davum vocat, dave. I almost started singing there. I don't know why. So dave vocativus est, vocativus versus say the nominative us. Exempla mede domine serve improbe. Servus salve domine Julius medum vocat, mede veni improbe serve. So you'll see in each of these situations the the when it's the vocative case basically will have an italics at the end, and then they highlight that over here. And then over here you have the various the difference between the imperative and indicative moods for the verb. So if you remember the whole discussion of mood. Now, going back and rereading through the chapter should very much help you guys with the exercises. Once again, I must emphasize that you only need to do 5 of them. So I would just say, like, go back to, like, think about last week for all the exercises you had there, and think, okay, which of those felt the easiest? Which of those felt like I really, really knew those the best? And I would say that would be a good place to, that those sorts of exercise, because the exercises do change based on the chapter, obviously, but most of the time they're relatively the same concept. So it's the same sort of structure of exercise. So I would say that just simply choosing the 5 easiest if you think you're going to struggle, or if you would like to challenge yourself, then you're free to try 1 or 2 of the ones which we didn't really go over that much last week. Either way, I think that would be good. But make sure that there are 5 of the exercises done. And I mean, not really a need to mark them or anything. All right. If you have any questions, be sure to email me. Just in case, I've included my email. I understand that you might get stuck on certain things because I haven't sort of thoroughly explained each of them or assigned them in particular. So just in case, I'm going to leave my email. Feel free to email me anytime next week. All right. Have a good day.